We're starting our journey through the life cycle of your business. As a business owner, you know the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into running that business. The business defines who you are. It becomes an extension of yourself, a part of your life. We are taking a look at each step in the development of the business, and I will be giving you my take on each stage, and it will not necessarily be what you expect. Hatch, match, and dispatch. This week, we start to have a look at Hatch, and in particular, the conception of your business, the spark that starts the process of bringing it to life. I want to start by introducing you to a little book called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. I think this book should be essential reading for anyone planning to start a business. Then it should be reread at least every other year. I got my copy probably 15 years ago. It's a bit battered now, but I still reread it on a regular basis. It's not a very long book, only about 270-ish pages, but you will never think about your business in the same way again. It has a lot to do with how you plan your business and the systems you adopt. It also has a lot to do with attitude. Think about this quote from Don Juan. Are you an ordinary man or woman or a warrior? I think that most of us are quite ordinary, but we can aspire to be warriors, business ninjas if you like. Here is another quote, this time from Michael Gerber's book. His contention is that most businesses don't work. So the business owners end up working unnecessarily hard just to stay afloat. The owners need to stop doing the work and start working on the business, to organize and systematize the processes so that it runs itself, so that the business works. Do you believe these stats? When I look at the number of people who we deal with and how many of them have been in business for more than 10 years, I have to say that it could be right. It might be that it's 60 or 70% and not 80%, but you get my point. Conception. What were you doing before you decided to go into business? Were you working for somebody else, doing the work? Were you a tradesman? Were you in sales? Were you in engineering, an accountant, a lawyer? You were delivering the work, but for somebody else. Then one day you suffered what Michael Gerber calls the entrepreneurial seizure. You decided, for whatever reason, that you would stop doing the work for somebody else and do it on your own account. Did you feel that you could do it better on your own? Were you underappreciated, underpaid, or just tired of working 9 to 5? Were you looking for a fresh challenge? We all have our own reasons for becoming what we can loosely call self-employed. In your old job, you were doing the work. You were what we may call a technician. You did the technical work and reported to a manager or even the business owner. Most technicians who take the plunge suffer from the fatal assumption that if you understand the technical work of a business, you understand the business that does that technical work. This is rarely the case. What most technicians do is to assume that they can carry on doing the day job and everything else in the business will fall into place. What they fail to understand is that they have a whole new skill set that they have to master: business. If they fail to master the necessary skills, they'll soon be looking for a job again. When you go into business, you have 3 different personalities, and they are constantly in conflict. But it's a battle that no one can win. You are at different times an entrepreneur, a manager, and a technician, and they pull you in different directions. The entrepreneur is the visionary, generally living in the future, always thinking what if and if when. The entrepreneur is our creative personality, but who always craves control. The manager is the pragmatist, the planner, and craves order and predictability. The manager in us organizes and systematizes, makes sure everything is neat and tidy. Where the entrepreneur invariably sees the opportunities in events, the manager invariably sees problems. The manager creates neat, orderly rows of things. The entrepreneur creates the things the manager puts in rows. The technician is the doer. His motto, if you want it done right, do it yourself. As long as the technician is working, he is happy, but only on one thing at a time because he knows you cannot do two things at once. Thinking is unproductive unless it is thinking about the work that needs to be done. Thinking isn't work, not to a technician. But technicians are, at the end of the day, the backbone of our business culture. To the manager, the technician becomes a problem to be managed. To the technician, the manager, who is always trying to organise and systematize him, becomes a meddler to be avoided. So how are you made up at the moment? 10% entrepreneur, 20% manager, 70% technician? This particular combination could be a recipe for disaster. The wrong person is in control. The wrong person is at the helm. The business lacks direction and probably operates inefficiently. You have to get these in balance. An entrepreneurial business without a manager to give it order and without a technician to put it to work is doomed to suffer an early and probably dramatic death. A manager-driven business without an entrepreneur or a technician to do their work will put things into neat little grey boxes over and over again, only to realise too late that there is no reason for the things or the boxes. Such a business will die very neatly. The technician-driven business, without the entrepreneur to lead and the manager to supervise, the technician will work until he drops. Then he'll work even harder, only to discover when it is too late that there was a seismic shift in the market or technology that he didn't see coming. We'll be coming back to these ideas over the coming weeks. I hope this has given you some food for thought. I hope that you will enjoy the coming weeks. And please get in touch if you want to discuss any of the ideas we've covered today. I'm Alan Long, Long Partnership, making life less taxing.